Ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin this video by asking you this question. Do you think William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, can win his seat in 2027 minus Mount Kenya in the equation? Because William Ruto is already crafting his campaign strategy for 2027 and Mount Kenya is not part and parcel of that equation. Let me ask you some two additional questions. Do you think Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance can defeat Ruto in 2027 in case Raila Odinga succeed in his bid of becoming the next chair of the African Union Commission? And who in Azimio do you think can defeat William Ruto? Because William Ruto is already crafting an elaborate strategy of winning in 2027. And based on my own observation, Mount Kenya is no longer part and parcel of William Ruto's strategy. For those who followed the 2022 presidential campaigns, especially William Ruto's campaign, it was so simple. William Ruto's campaign was actually based on Jubilee campaigns of 2013 and Jubilee campaigns of 2017. And it was simple. Tyranny of numbers. William Ruto believed that as long as Mount Kenya can vote for him, and as long as he can win the support of Rift Valley, William Ruto knew that with a few tricks here and there, he was definitely going to win the presidency. But a lot of things have changed since that time, which begs the question, can William Ruto win the presidency of the Republic of Kenya minus Mount Kenya? And why is William Ruto now moving away from Mount Kenya? That is exactly what I want us to do in this video. So in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. What we do on this channel is that we analyze politics in a way you can't find any other place. So the best thing you can do is to press that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video, you will be notified automatically by YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto's strategy is taking shape. William Ruto is no longer camping in Mount Kenya the way he used to do before. Mount Kenya is already rebelling against William Ruto. But William Ruto is already making certain moves which are intended to cover for the lost votes from Mount Kenya. And for us to understand that William Ruto is indeed crafting his campaign away from Mount Kenya, let me show you some three signs which will confirm that William Ruto is already working on a strategy minus Mount Kenya. The first sign was the appointment of Cleophas Malala as the UDA Secretary General. Let me ask you this simple question. Why do you think William Ruto decided to go and pick Malala, who was not a member of UDA party, to become the Secretary General of UDA party? That is something that we really need to investigate. Because I remember when Uhuru Kenyatta was the President of the Republic of Kenya, and William Ruto wanted to become the President of the Republic of Kenya, and Uhuru Kenyatta indicated his willingness to support Raila Odinga, William Ruto used to wonder a lot why Uhuru Kenyatta would go all the way to ODM and support Raila Odinga, and that if Uhuru Kenyatta was serious and probably didn't want him, he would have picked some other person from Jubilee. So that's the same question I'm asking. Why do you think William Ruto decided that UDA party, with all the millions of members, could not produce the SG? It simply meant that William Ruto wanted to achieve certain objectives. Let me just give you the main three reasons why William Ruto picked on Malala. Number one, William Ruto wanted to take the party from the grip of Mount Kenya to the Luo nation. The truth is, during the 2022 presidential campaigns, William Ruto portrayed UDA as Mount Kenya political party, because you remember our politics revolves around politics. So he projected UDA as part and parcel of Mount Kenya. So immediately he took over. He decided, okay, enough is enough. Now I want to take this party from your grip in the mountain and to Malala. As we speak today, Malala is in control of that party. I remember there was a time he made some appointment to the secretariat and he just brought his friends, people from ANC party, mostly lawyers. Number two, he did that because of Musalia Mudavadi factor. What is William Ruto's game plan with Musalia Mudavadi? Again, that's something that we need to figure out. And of course, he also wanted to take full control. Because you know, in this country, there's this issue of political betrayal where you give some people the mandate to manage the party, then from nowhere they sell you out. So William Ruto wanted to take control of the party so that he can keep an eye on all activities happening in the party. So that is the first sign that William Ruto is moving away from Mount Kenya. Number two is William Ruto's focus on the Luo Nation or ODM strongholds. Why do you think William Ruto is no longer focusing on Mount Kenya the way he used to do before? Because if it's working, why change? Why? Because William Ruto won the presidency and Mount Kenya gave him the highest number of votes. Why would we change? Now focus to the Luo. Previously, a day in a week, which is 7 days, William Ruto would camp in Mount Kenya for 5 good days. What about nowadays? He's more on western side. Number 3 is the number of visits William Ruto is nowadays making in Mount Kenya. They've reduced. William Ruto is no longer visiting Mount Kenya the way he used to do. And number 4 is Raila factor. You know, William Ruto knows so well that he was able to rally Mount Kenya using Raila phobia. In fact, Raila entered into handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, and that was the gift William Ruto wanted. Then he becomes the president, then looks for Raila Odinga, enter into handshake just the way Uhuru Kenyatta did. Why do you think he's doing that? He wants Mount Kenya to rebel against him or what? Because that's exactly what caused rebellion against Uhuru Kenyatta. And of course, if you look at it also, the other sign is the fact that Uhuru Kenyatta is being humiliated. Why do you think Ruto is humiliating Uhuru Kenyatta? Uhuru Kenyatta retired a long time ago. His team keeps on talking about Uhuru Kenyatta. Why? Because it must be a strategy. Uhuru should be respected as a former head of state. But these guys continue to disrespect him. Why do you think they're doing that? Simple. To provoke Mount Kenya so that they'll say, Uhuru is our son. You should not do that to him. And by doing that, they are going to win Uhuru Kenyatta's sympathy. So which means most of them will decide to leave. If William Ruto was keen with Mount Kenya, I'm sure he would not be humiliating Uhuru Kenyatta. However much Uhuru Kenyatta would be provoking him, he would not do that. So for me, those are the 5 signs that William Ruto is now focusing away from Mount Kenya. And let me tell you my predictions. Before I do that again, allow me to take this opportunity to thank the people you are seeing their names there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you my prediction. 3 things I want to predict are going to happen. After Raila Odinga's meeting with Museveni and Ruto, and of course, based on the way William Ruto is behaving, 3 things are definitely going to happen. Number 1, we are likely to see Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta reconciling. They'll start doing it underground, but it will come to the open. In politics, it's about interest. As long as the interest of Rigathi Gachagua and that of Uhuru will be converging, you will start seeing Uhuru Kenyatta and Rigathi Gachagua. So that's the first thing I'm predicting. The other thing I'm predicting is that Ruto might decide to nominate Musalia Mudavadi as his running mate in 2027. I don't want to get into details about that. Probably I'll do another analysis. But politics is a game of numbers. If Mount Kenya is dumping Ruto, then it would mean that Ruto needs to consolidate Western. How can he do that? Allow Musalia Mudavadi to work very closely with Raila. Allow Musalia Mudavadi to make pronouncement like the one he made in Bondo. Allow him to meet with Raila, blah, blah. Then before you know, he's going to be nominated as a running mate. And Raila will pull out of the presidential race, and probably his supporters will use their brain. So that's another prediction which I'm making. The last prediction I'm making, and this is, I think, is already happening, is that Mount Kenya are going to rebel openly against William Ruto over Raila Amolo Odinga. But why do you think William Ruto is deciding to dump Mount Kenya for Raila Odinga? Because for me, sometimes it's good to hold on to what you have rather than depending on what you don't have. Why do you think William Ruto is making that risky move? Number 1, Mount Kenya in the last election gave William Ruto the maximum number of votes they could. That was 3 point something, 3.9 or how many? I'm sure William Ruto, wherever he is, understands that there is no way he can get that kind of vote again in Mount Kenya. Why? Already people are disappointed. There are people who feel cheated. Uhuru Kenyatta is winning sympathy. So the truth is, politics is a game of numbers. He knows and he understands that Mount Kenya might not give him the numbers they gave him in the last election. But of course, he can figure out how to increase in areas he didn't perform well, like in Western, like in Coast. Let me just say ODM strongholds. So that's number one. Number two, unfulfilled promises. Is there anything William Ruto did not promise to the people of the mountain? He made all promises to them. Is there any single promise that William Ruto has fulfilled to the people of the mountain? He knows that some of these promises he cannot fulfill. And therefore he understands that because of that, there are people who will not vote for him. So what is the alternative? Go to an area where he never made promises. Go to the Luo nation, go to the Luo nation, make promises to them, and hope that they will vote for you. So that's number two. Number three, if you studied William Ruto's support in Mount Kenya in 2022, those people voted for Ruto not because they loved Ruto. They voted for Ruto because they wanted to punish Uhuru Kenyatta for working with Raila Odinga. So it simply means that that support was cosmetic. And anything cosmetic does not last long. And that is the fear William Ruto understands. And of course, William Ruto also understands that probably in the mountain, the figure which Wafula Chebukati gave him might not be the actual figures. So he knows the real figures. Because if you look at the numbers, a difference of 200,000 could have been easily cancelled just by two counties in Nyanza and one in Ukambani, if Azimio was serious. And number four, Raila phobia is not going to work for the mountain. Because if it worked because he was opposed to Raila, it's now working with Raila. The mountain cannot buy that phobia. And he knows it. And lastly, the fear of Uhuru Kenyatta. The truth is, Uhuru Kenyatta served the Republic of Kenya as the president for 10 good years. Which simply means that it's possible for Uhuru Kenyatta to access intelligence report. Uhuru Kenyatta has the money. Uhuru Kenyatta is winning sympathy. And now the mountain are realizing that we ought not to have lost Uhuru Kenyatta. And therefore they are sympathizing with him, and therefore Uhuru can actually direct them to a different direction. And those are some of the fears why William Ruto is looking away from Mount Kenya. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Bye-bye.